All right, everybody, welcome into Tide Takes, the college football edition. We're going to do these on Thursdays where we're going to kind of go through some games this weekend, give some kind of random thoughts on college football as a whole. Probably preview the Bama South Carolina game as well this week. But I want to start at Ole Miss LSU. And I think I'm most interested to see if Ole Miss is going to be able to put points up on an SEC defense. Because so far this year, they haven't. They have only put up 17 at Kentucky and 27 against South Carolina. Albeit, I do think South Carolina's defense is probably a little better than LSU's. But it's going to come down. I think that game's going to come down to Kiffin and Jackson Dart. And are they going to be able to actually put points up? Because I don't know if their defensive front's going to be good enough to stop LSU's run game. So I think it's going to come down to can Kiffin actually get points up this week?
Yeah. I mean, and not to mention, so they are playing LSU, which has a very explosive offense. I mean, it's almost kind of like what I was saying, the other day about our defense needs to be a little bit more big time, big play oriented instead of just trying to sit back and be conservative. I think with LSU, even if they score quick, that's good for Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, because he feeds off of the more we get the ball, the more in rhythm that Kiffin gets. Now, does that mean he's going to call a good game and they're going to execute to make something happen? I don't know. But watching them against Kentucky, they were getting blown up front. And I remember you saying, I think it was not the game. It wasn't Kentucky. It may have been South Carolina. You called me and you were like, man, Ole Miss is always pretty good. But every time they play a team with a real front seven, their offense is a shell of itself. It's not the same. And then you saw that with two back-to-back SEC games. I don't know. Wait, they weren't back-to-back, were they? Were they back-to-back?
Yeah,
South Carolina,
Kentucky and then South Carolina.
You saw them back-to-back, and then you go LSU, and everybody's sleeping on LSU, man. I know their defense is, a little bit above average this year. They're in that 50, 60 range, I'm pretty sure, is total defense. So they're above
48.
average. 48. So what that means is they just need essentially, because their offense is what, top five?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're top five. So essentially all that means is they need to stop.
No, not anymore. They are at wow. Hold on.
Well, they were top five. Last week.
No, I'm looking at it now. 10. They dropped down to 10.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, and one thing for sure is I haven't seen Jackson Dart have his moment yet. When is that kid's, big time, big game moment gonna step up? Because I'm sure he's had one, you know what I mean? I'm talking about a game
a big game, a big moment. Big time players make big time plays. Big time games.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When are we going to see him be a big time play in a big time game? You know what I mean? I'm tired of Jackson Dart being a bully. He's a bully football player. He beats up on the weaker teams, and he's not the same guy against the best. So I guess we'll see what he looks like against top 10 team.
13.
What the fuck ever. I'll tell you, sorry, my bad. Look, I'm telling you right now, you put LSU up on a neutral field against oh my God, sorry. You put LSU up on the field against what would you say, 115 teams, and I take LSU at 132.
I don't know, man.
120 teams.
I don't know. I might disagree with you there. They already lost to USC West this year.
They did. They got bailed out by South Carolina.
Bailed out at South Carolina. Bailed out. So I don't know. I think I'll disagree. I'm gonna disagree with you on that. We don't disagree a lot, but I don't know if LSU's offense, if Ole Miss gets going, I don't really know if LSU's offense is good enough. I don't know if Nussmeier is good enough to win in those shootout games.
Well, Nussmeier needs that run game to really, really be there for him. Like he's another guy that needs a run game.
Play action pass plays.
Yeah, and like Nussmeier is really good at play action deep shot. He's good at hitting those deep shots after those safeties creep in a little bit. And I think he really needs the run game, which means, like I said, the defense needs at minimum like 3 stops, 4 stops to give them a good chance to win. Now I think if they get more than like 4 or 5 stops, like LSU wins the game. Like I really do.
I would agree with that. And that's what I was saying earlier is that's the key to this game to me is can Ole Miss's offense really be what everybody thinks it is or can be? What it was against the Georgia Southerns of the world. No offense to Georgia Southern, but
no, yeah. But look at defensively, dude. Defensively, Ole Miss did get more talent. They got Trey Amos, which I'm still pissed off about because he's still a stud, bro.
He is.
And their front. What do we talk about this whole year leading into it? Ole Miss's front. Ole Miss's front. Ole Miss's front. Well, guess what, dude? I've watched them in multiple games just get gashed in the run game.
Yeah, I agree. I think we know who their defensive coordinator is, so that's not surprising.
Yeah, he was wearing a mask last Saturday.
He seemed to be up in Nashville last Saturday.
He was wearing a Kane Wommack mask last week.
God almighty, man.
Imposter! You imposter!
You have been voted off.
You're canceled.
He was among us.
You are canceled.
God almighty. But I'm interested, right? Because this game has a huge impact moving forward. Right? If LSU wins, then Bama's schedule gets tougher. If Ole Miss wins, Georgia's schedule gets tougher.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I get where you're going with that, but I don't think whoever wins and loses makes the actual.
No, I'm not talking about the actual game. I'm talking about like at the end of the year when they're doing playoff selections and looking at strength of schedule and even though it's kind of crap how they rank teams.
Like whatever, you know what I mean? If both of Georgia and Bama have 2 losses, and you're putting us both in, like you just are.
Yep.
I don't give a crap who's straight. Bro, put us in at 12. Just get us in there. I don't give a crap. Put us in at 12. We'll probably play the SEC runner-up. Boom. Get it off. Get it over with. If we win that game, we get to go play like BYU. Word. Come on, dude. Like, don't let us just go play BYU and Boise State, buddy. Like, don't let us get in.
I don't know, man. After last week, I'm worried about it. I would say if we're there at 11 or 10-2, I probably will feel a little better. But
here's my question. I got a question for you. So we beat Georgia. So if we get that 28-point lead, okay, we hold the lead and beat Georgia, 48-20. Do we lose to Vandy?
Probably.
If we
probably, dude. Like,
I'm saying if it's not such a difficult emotional roller coaster, I think, like I said, I
don't think it was that, dude. I don't know. I think it was like a perfect storm of DeBoer not being in the SEC, right? I think it was Vanderbilt had a bye week, and I don't think so. They got to prepare a lot, right? Like we got to prepare for Georgia and Georgia for us, right?
Yeah, that was even on both sides.
But like, I think you're giving an SEC team an advantage for you specifically, and you have DeBoer never coached in like a back-to-back SEC games, and you have to take, regardless of how the Georgia outcome is, it's a win, right? And I'm sure the offense and a lot of the kids are like, well, shit, man, we beat Georgia. We had them on the ropes early. Like, we still won, but like, whatever. We kicked their tail, blah, blah, blah. And I just don't think DeBoer did a good enough job of getting their mindset right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that. I think that's would have happened either way. And we already know Womack would have called the same defense. So like
I'm just looking for
if they
a
have 40 minutes time of
Hey.
possession, like
Hey, I'm just looking for a glimpse of optimism, and it's not going to show up.
it's not, dude. I'm not gonna be that guy for you, bro. I'm
I
not gonna
just
be that
wanted
guy
a little
for you,
bit, man.
I
I'm struggling. I'm
I'm
losing
not gonna sit out here and put some crap out. I am seriously worried about our defense, right? Like we are
And
in
now,
40. We are
are
in
you so
41st now total scoring
hey,
defense.
tell me, are you more worried about the personnel, or are you more worried about the coaching staff?
I don't think the personnel's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, right? I don't think it's like 2011,
No.
obviously. But like, I think the talent's there.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I don't think zero's CJ Mosley, but I definitely like, there is no reason we are at 41st on scoring defense. And we've only played one ranked team this year. No reason for that. We've given up what? Almost 80 points in the last 2 weeks. And most of that came through 6 quarters. That's got me worried, dude. Like, I mean, Texas, even Ole Miss, like, that's got me worried. If a team is going to commit to the run against us, it's
Yeah.
Womack is going to have to do something different with the front. He's going to. Otherwise, they're just going to 17 plays, 3 yard in a cloud of dust, and 8 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, and then all they have to do with their defense is get one stop, run a similar drive, and if they score another touchdown, the game's over. Because
especially the second half.
It'll be the second quarter. They've scored twice, and we've only had the ball once for less than 2 minutes, a minute and a half. So
Yep.
like it's just not a good. I mean, I guess that's like I think that's where a lot of people are concerned is like, okay, this is whatever against Vandy, but what happens? What happens if South Carolina this weekend? They have a really good running quarterback. Yes, the kid can throw, but he can run. They do QB powers. They do a lot of read options. They do that. And not to mention old Rocket Sanders. Oh, Red Rocket Sanders. What's he been doing? Dude, he's been lighting the league up. He's leading the league, at least the SEC, in broken tackles, yards after contact. I mean, he's been killing it, dude. I just don't.
And so let's just hop into the South Carolina game then. We already kind of hijacked the call, hijacked the hijacked.
We were trying
video.
to talk about other teams so bad, and we just
Casey's like I can't not talk about Bama. Dad gummit.
Hey, we'll talk about him. Hey, no. We'll talk about him in a minute. Next game on the schedule. Who is it? Texas, Oklahoma?
Yep.
All right. So Queen's back.
Yep.
How long? All right. If Quinn is having a bad game, how long does it take until they're going, we want Arch? How long?
The fans probably pretty quick, but I doubt Sark would cave to that. No. I think he's a better coach than that. Oklahoma's defense is pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say like they're the best I've seen.
Where's the game at? Is it at Oklahoma or at Texas?
I think it's at Oklahoma. Let me check.
Tennessee had to go play a tough game in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma. It's in Norman.
God, they get Tennessee at home, Texas at home, Bama at home. Like, Jesus, here you go, Oklahoma. Like,
yeah, but I mean, still though, I don't.
Welcome to the SEC. God.
That game has the same kind of feel as I was talking about with Ole Miss and LSU. right, is Sark and Ewers or Arch, whoever's playing quarterback. Because Oklahoma's defense is pretty good, like I said, but this is going to be Texas first. I don't want to say like their first big test, but it's their first test, right? It's a ranked team away.
They struggled at Mississippi State last week for a while, and people were like, "Arch is absolutely just killing it," and I'm like, "Well, you know what, guys? Like, even the worst of the SEC they can get you sometimes, or they can play a hell of a competitive game and make you stress your balls off for three and a half quarters."
And then you have to go and play another SEC game the next week.
And potentially a better one in our case.
And Texas's case too.
I mean, I know they're more used to that game.
Yeah, I mean,
but yes, you're right though.
Too. But it's still the same. Like they didn't go from Kansas to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
right.
They went from Mississippi State
is still way better than Kansas or 90% of the teams in the.
And you can say, well, if they met in a bowl game on a neutral site, Kansas will win. Well, maybe they would, bro. But like, run into Kansas in week 8 or run into Mississippi State in week 8, and I'll tell you which game would be tougher for your team. You know what I'm like?
Yep. And then I would tell you what game's gonna be a lot more physical. And that's the thing. It's a lot more physical of a league. And that wears on you. I mean, how many years have we seen it where we go, Tennessee, a Kentucky, LSU, a cupcake, Auburn, right? We go through that gauntlet and we make it through the SEC championship game. And then we have like our entire linebacker core depleted, or we have 2 defensive linemen left.
That happened in the Clemson game when Tua started. We got beat. We only had like 1 healthy outside linebacker out of like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
we were playing middle linebackers on the outside. Like, it's tough, dude. It's really tough, and that's what I mean. Like, if you look at Mississippi State, are they going to score a lot of points and be a really good team? Not necessarily. Not saying they're bad, but at the same time, like you just said, dude, it's much more physical, man. Like, you just get beat up. It's it's really tough to be at your best, because if you're at the top of the league in the SEC, you are truly going to get someone's best every
You're getting
single
hunted.
week. You're getting, dude, because there's nothing that people love more in the South. If your team sucks, they want to ruin every team's chances of winning. They just want to ruin it. They're like, oh, if we suck, everyone's going to suck. We are going to ruin your chances of winning a championship. And that is prideful, bro. Like, they take that serious. I mean, look at Auburn. How many championships have they ruined for people? Us. A couple?
Nope.
At least go down the list of all the championships that have been
Auburn ruined a couple for LSU too, I think, especially in the early 2000s.
They're also a little better, but yes, I'm with you though. Yeah.
No, like, and that's what Texas and Oklahoma and DeBoer, right? They're gonna learn it. They're gonna have to learn it sooner or later, right? How to manage the difficulty of the schedule, and not in the sense of, oh, everybody's ranked in the top 10 or whatever, but the difficulty of how physical the league is, and why depth is so important for teams in the SEC. And that's what we talk about when we say, some of the other leagues, especially like the group of 5 or 6 or whatever it is, why they have such an advantage. Because they're not playing those knockdown, drag out, big boys against big boys fight every single week. That wears on you, man. wears on you. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it through that without a dean. So
Yeah, I mean, perfect example is Ashton Genty, hell of a player. Like truly a hell of a player. Like, he's a top 3 back right now.
Heisman front runner, in my opinion.
And front runner. You know, it's like, well, if you put him on Bama, he's probably got, 500-600 yards, maybe 700 right now, versus 1,100. Oh, okay, well, it's just because he's playing in theory. Okay, well, take Derrick Henry and let him run against Utah State every week. Let him run. Oregon team, give me a break, guys. Oregon is talked up to be a lot bigger than what they are. We're not at the Oregon-Ohio State game yet. I'll get there. But Oregon's talked up to be bigger than what they are. And I just think, like, I don't know, dude. You take Rocket Sanders and let him run against Utah State. He's 800 yards this season already. I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, like Boise State's looking good. Their offensive line is looking good. The kid Lee, but I'm pretty sure Genty has more yards post contact than any running back has yards. Period.
He's I think he's got the most yards, and I think there's 2 people in front of him, and then he's 4th with his yards after contact.
Yeah,
strictly,
which is insane. And like I said, he is the Heisman front runner right now because it's still D1 football. That's still insane what he's doing.
Oh, he should be the front runner.
But he's not playing. I'm not even going to say Bama's linebackers, but like Georgia's linebackers, even Kentucky. Kentucky's defense is for real.
Hey,
dude.
Kentucky's got old Dumas Johnson or whatever his name is from Georgia. He would have been a starter this year for Georgia.
So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying is like, it's just a difference and I believe that's why we end up seeing so many SEC or even Big Ten teams winning the national championship more than the others is because they have fought so many tough physical battles. By the time they get there against a team who hasn't had to do it, as long as the SEC or Big Ten team doesn't have major injuries, they dominate that game more than not.
Because they're like, it's like when you roll out of bed for work at like 4:30 or 5, if you were that person, you do it every single day. It's just like, oh, it's just another day, here we go. But then it's like if it's your first week, by the end of that week of waking up at 4:30, those people are like, well, this sucks.
Exactly. And yeah. I think that's what the 12-team playoffs is going to do.
Yeah, right? it's gonna show who is more, I guess, just battle tested, like true, just hard nosed, physical.
The one thing I hope they don't do, right? This is my only worry with the 12-team playoff is are they gonna put like all the big seed everyone to where the Big Ten and the SEC all play each other so they can give like a BYU an easy skate through to the championship.
So I think what's going to happen
because they're like, oh, we can't put so-and-so here because they're an SEC school. And then we'll have the last 6 teams will be all SEC or Big Ten,
So I think what you're going to have is if you have hypothetical 5 SEC teams make it, they're going to put 3 of them on one side. So 2 of them have to play each other, and then when there is a winner, they have to play another SEC team. I know for a fact. But now if there's 4, I think they will seed it to where they do have to play each other to make it to the championship. And I think that they're going to finagle it that way, and they're going to manipulate it that way, so they can be more inclusive in college football. Well, that's not what the sport is about. That's not what sports is about.
No, we want to see who is the best, right?
Yeah, bro.
We don't want to put people in there because it feels good, or we want to make sure we include the little guy. Like, no, we want The best team's playing the best team, so we know without a doubt who the best team is.
Hey, if that's the case, let BYU and all them go play in like the Upward League. They win every game. They never lose a game. You win every game. Have them go play the Upward. They don't even
church league basketball.
They don't even keep score. Just go win.
Everybody wins a trophy.
Quit with the give everybody a chance crap. But anyways, Texas, Oklahoma.
Let's go into Ohio State, Oregon. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Ohio, that's a 3-score Ohio State win. 3 scores. Minimum of 17 points. I don't believe in Oregon. I won't believe in Oregon. I can't believe in Oregon. That's just all the thing that's going through my mind. I don't care who you picked up. I don't care about anything that Oregon's got going on. You had 2 chances last year to beat an inferior team with Washington. You missed both chances, and you didn't make the playoffs because you let the exact same team kick your ass in the regular season and then kick your ass in the conference finals. You allowed that, Oregon. You know, hey, well, they went and got this guy. They went and got this guy. They went and got this guy. Okay, BYU comes to town, comes to your town, and almost beats you. BYU. I mean, sorry. Boise State.
I was about to say.
Yeah, Boise. I was just talking crap about BYU. Boise State comes to town and almost beats you and you win by 3 points. Hey, do you know Ashton Genty had 203 tutties off against Oregon? What's old Juddy and Henderson gonna? Huh?
192. I mean, dude, yeah, 100%.
It's going to be a 3-score Ohio State game. I mean, if it were at Ohio State, it's a 20+ point win in my opinion. I don't believe in Oregon. I hope nobody else does other than Oregon fans, because I think they're going to be one of those hyped up, big, disappointing teams. Dan Lanning's trying to add a physical element to it, and I'll tell you right now, you're not going to be as physical until you start getting guys from the Southeast, guys from Florida, South Alabama, South Mississippi, Southern Louisiana. You're not going to be physical until you get guys up front from those areas. I mean, you can't have an entire defensive front 7 consisting of all guys from the West. It doesn't happen. Where does Ohio State get a lot of their big interior defensive linemen? Southeast. Their edge guys, they got plenty of freakish white boys up there that can go get it, right? But the big interior guys, where do they come from? The Southeast. It's a 3-score game. Ohio State's going to boat race them in the second half, and it's going to be ugly. It's my opinion.
Animated opinion. Unfiltered take from Casey.
Yeah, I think Oregon is not what people, and I've said that before the season even started. Y'all are hyping Oregon up because that's all everybody does is hype. They just want to hype everybody up. They want everyone to be a contender. Well, that's not the case. You got like 3 contenders every year. All the other ones is just media hype.
Yeah, max 5 or 6 contenders.
And people buy it every year. People buy the crap every year. So stupid.
I mean, I agree. I don't think you can give up 34 to Boise State and expect to go. Are they playing? They're playing at
Oregon.
Oh, okay. That's a little different. I mean, Ohio State's got a new quarterback. So is Lanning's defense going to confuse him? And if Ohio State's quarterback does get confused, does Ohio State's run game, is it good enough to win that game?
Well, Lanning runs a similar defense to whom?
Kirby.
Right? Does Kirby's defense confuse an elite offense? No, it does not. It never has, and it never will. Because when they don't bring 5 or 6, they get exposed in the passing game. When they bring 5 or 6, they get home. They force the quarterback to have unsettled feet, throw some errant passes, maybe get a pick. They get more, stops. That defense isn't okay, their defensive scheme is not a threat against elite offensive play callers. It's truly not, especially if they have talent to execute it. It's just not. Like you said, it's a bully scheme. So when you
without bully players,
you know what I mean? It's a bully scheme without bully players. And Ohio State has Chip Kelly to call their offense. That guy can call a hell of an offense. They have offensive talent everywhere, dude. Like
oh. No, I mean,
Oregon's gonna get exposed.
I was trying to play a little devil's advocate there, but no, I lean with you. But we haven't seen either one of them tested. That's the only thing that's holding me back from going one way or the other.
I guess you could say Ohio State's played inferior teams, and what are you supposed to do if you're elite? You're supposed to kill them. So, excuse me. Ohio State's killed inferior opponents like they should. So I guess you could say, okay, they are up there. You know what I mean? And then I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I mean, I know if I had to pick, I'm definitely taking Ohio State. What's the line? What's the line on that game?
It's gonna be something stupid like 3 Ohio State by 3 or something, probably or 2, probably same as Georgia Bama. If Vegas is going with Oregon, Vegas is really going to be unhappy at the end of the game because they're going to lose a lot of money.
Buckeyes are favored by only 3.5.
There you go. I figured it was going to be just like that Georgia Bama game.
Over under is 53 points. I don't bet, but I would take the over on that crap. Easy.
Yeah, and it might be Ohio State alone may hit the over.
Right? Yeah, I mean, 100%. And
I do understand they have a new quarterback, right? But their quarterback, I'm not gonna sit here and call him game manager because I think the term game manager has left the chat 10 years ago. There is no game manager in really anymore.
Who is that kid from Michigan last year?
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. We're talking about Michigan, bro. They throw 7 passes a game. Anyway,
game manager, bro. He manages the heck out of the game, beat our ass.
It's such a prehistoric way of running an offense, dude. They smoked us, but
I mean, look, I agree with you. I do think it's an outdated term. I never liked the term ever because how is that a bad thing to say about your quarterback?
I've never understood why that's a bad thing. People say he's just a game manager.
We're undefeated and our quarterback's a game manager. Okay, well, give me that.
Hey, in 2012, they called AJ a game manager, but he won 2
natties.
But he was second in the Heisman as a game manager.
He won 2 natties.
How are you second in the Heisman as a game manager?
Bro, and he still had a 10-year career in the league. He didn't start much, but
who cares?
I mean, he made what? Probably $15 million.
In 5th grade, our teacher was like, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "I want to be a 3rd-string NFL quarterback. I don't have to go when the starter gets hurt, and usually if the second guy gets hurt, they bring in somebody else from another team. I make my league minimum and stand over there.
All right, Alex Moran."
Yeah, I stand over there with a clipboard, and during scout team practice, I throw some passes, and I can't get touched.
But no, I mean, I think I agree. I mean, I think Ohio State's problem. I think it's more likely that Ohio State blows Oregon out than it is of a close game. I agree with that. I do.
Yeah.
I can't say it with as much confidence as you are, just because,
Well,
like
you
I
just
said,
also.
I haven't
Mhm.
seen it. I haven't
Yeah.
seen. I mean, look at us, right? We were super skeptical going to the Georgia game, and then 28-0, bam. What? And then we go and freaking lose the Vandy the next week. So, like, I mean, it's college football. You never know. You're still kids, but like, I mean, like Ryan Williams is actually a child. Dude can't even. Dude can't even get into an R-rated movie, bro. Um,
He goes up to all the girls on campus. Hey, can you show me your ID, please, so you don't get in trouble later?
right. Romeo and Juliet, buddy. Um, but yeah, so those are
Yeah,
our
I don't know.
thoughts.
I'm just saying right here, Oregon's gonna have to prove to me that they can actually compete not compete, that they can win a big game. Oregon hasn't won a big game. I mean, God, when was the last time they actually won a big game? When they went to the national championship, who'd they beat to go to the national championship in 2014? It was Bama, Ohio State, and then Oregon, FSU. They beat FSU like 59 to 20 something. Okay, well, that was your last big win, Oregon. You could say all these regular season wins. No one talks about regular season champs. They only talk about who wins the most conference champs, playoff games, or national champs. That's all people care about at the end of the day. Quit that, like Lamar Jackson, regular season champ. He's the best in the regular season. Can't get it done in the playoffs. We'll see. I don't know.
Yep. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching our college football edition on Tide Takes. We're gonna do these every Thursday. Put them out. If you do have a take you want featured or for us to discuss, give our opinions on, comment on the video. You can email us at tidetakes1@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys for watching, sticking with us, listening to us kind of give our thoughts and everything on football. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.